Internet, hello and welcome to episode, I think we're at 5 of Koi's Comics, Cinema, and Curls. English language is weird. I am so happy to be talking to you guys today. There is so much that happened in 1 week. It has only been a week, and yet there's an entire world. So, give me just a moment. I'm going to get the live chat and all that up here. And in the meantime, let's talk about the Oscars first, because I feel like the Oscars were underwatched. So if I can talk about them, at least I feel better knowing that I tried. I'm a big advocate for award shows. I think they're absolutely worth having. I think they're entertaining. I'm personally of the mind that they should have hosts. I'm a bit selfish on that as a host, but I think that Oscars should have hosts. This Oscar ceremony was really interesting because it was balancing a hell of a lot of things, and it was trying to keep the pace, and it was trying to keep itself going, and I think it did a commendable job. I think it did as best a job it could, but once we got some more live people in the live chat, I assume they're all live people in the live chat, I will be jumping into the Oscar commentary. There was a lot of moments I really enjoyed. Overall, I've definitely enjoyed other Oscar telecasts more. I definitely think it's lacking a certain eyeline or pulse / connectivity without a host. I feel like the host is the audience's eyeline, and without that, it is not the same. But that is, that's what it is. Let's see what else is going on today. We've got some people in the chat. Hello to everyone that said hi. My mom is also in here. Hello, Koi Pond. You guys are, as ever, fantastic. Sorry we were a little late today. I was at the gym, but that feels like it's okay because that is the third C. It is the curls portion of the shebang, and that is very important, so I can stay sane enough to keep this show going. All right, we've got... Ooh, that never happened. Okay, so also just for a note to you guys, I am in the middle of moving, which is why this has been less and less connected. I've been on social media a little less, but that means there'll be a brand new set very soon. So I'm in the midst of moving, and I've also got a trip to Hawaii. I'll be talking about Amazing Con Aloha very, very soon. But in the very, 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 very soon, I'll be moving, and therefore you'll see a new set and less cats. Some cats, and these cats will make cameo appearances, but less cats. I'm going to try to actually have a full setup for you guys. I'm excited about the backdrop I'm building. I'm excited about the sound. I will be doing a podcast. A lot of you have been asking about podcasts, and I will definitely be jumping on there. And I'm very excited to basically make this part of my, not daily, but more daily occurrence. So while people are jumping in, basically I want to do definitely Tuesday and Friday. I've decided on Tuesday. I did a little... survey on Twitter, and a lot of people pointed out that on Wednesday, basically, there's SCN, there's also Mark Riley's show, and I love Mark. I don't want to compete for viewers there. I want to make sure people watch his stuff, and also vice versa. So I'm thinking Tuesday in the later evening, and then Friday midday, and that way I've got basically every 3 or 4 days I can communicate with you guys and do a show. So in the meantime, I see the super chat is working. Thank you, Tim Berry, in the super chat. I appreciate you, Mr. Berry, and I did enjoy getting my swole on. I appreciate it very much. That was the reason for the lateness. The reason why not daily is because it's a lot. I can't be that attached to the internet. I'm trying to live, but maybe eventually daily. If this can be like enough of a thing with super chats and Streamlabs and everything else to keep where I don't need to work at McDonald's, then maybe you won't find me at your local McDonald's. We'll see how it goes out, but I definitely, if it works out daily, I definitely enjoy this, and I could just do an hour and then run away, but we'll see how that goes. Okay, we got things grooving in the chat. What is the cat eating? Cat food. I think a bird-based cat food, like chicken, and it's poultry, I think, and they're LA cats. They're very fancy. They're like non-GMO, free range. The cats eat much better than I do, like so much better than I do. What up, movie fanobi? I appreciate you, man. Okay, we're gonna dive in. Oscars. Let's talk about them. Now that you're all here, I wrote down some highlights for me on this fancy notepad. We've got Brad Pitt. I loved his speech. It was short, it was to the point, it was concise, but it was really heartfelt. Brad Pitt's been a favorite of mine for a long time. He's actually one of the pillows you'll see making much more appearances in the future episodes of the show, but Brad Pitt is he's a movie star, man, and I loved his performance in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Leonardo DiCaprio is obviously a giant talent, so for someone to basically have me being like, but what about his stunt guy? And I kept wanting to follow that storyline. So to me, that's an incredible performance. Brad Pitt, I also love this new Brad Pitt. I think he's always been a character actor trapped in a leading man's body, and he gets cast in things that work, but he can do better or different. Like, I feel like I'd much rather see Snatch than 7 Years in Tibet. I'd much rather see 12 Monkeys than him be like handsome heartthrob. And it's fun. Like, Mr. and Mrs. Smith is obviously a great time, but it's been really cool to see him get to like kind of grow into this very ponderous and thoughtful and funny and just different actor. And I enjoyed all of his speeches this whole award season, and I really definitely dug everything that basically he had to say. I'll keep my politics out of it, but I really appreciate what he had to say, and I love the shout out to his kids. We've got another super chat from Movie Fanobi, Boston Strong, do you koi? Hell yeah. I'm gonna try to get to Boston this year, whether it's with the Schmoedown or not. I gotta get home. I haven't been to Boston in a bit. I miss it very, very much. Mike K, welcome. Okay, we also Laura Dern. If you guys haven't seen Marriage Story, man, Laura Dern's entire performance was just, every moment was intense and visceral, and she was playing just the most intense lawyer. But I've never been divorced, and I felt like I have because of Laura Dern. Like, everyone was great in that movie, but I really felt like Laura Dern put me through the ringer, and to me, she is forever Laura Dern of Jurassic Park, so to see her be a very different woman was very intense. She's had an incredible career for years and years, but those are the two big ones now for me. Big fan. She was fantastic. Renee and Joaquin, underdog return. If you think about it, 5 years ago, Joaquin Phoenix was still known as that guy that was starting a career as a rapper. That documentary definitely like took some bold choices. I thought it was funny, but I definitely see how people didn't. That Letterman interview with the gum, like Joaquin definitely went there, and he's also got this reputation about like how he is on set and all these things. And I feel like his graciousness and his comeback with this was this really cool underdog story. And I obviously have a bias. The fact that Joker won makes me very, very happy. I think it definitely deserved it. That performance is absolutely incredible. For me, Heath Ledger's performance is amongst the best I've ever seen, and Joaquin's was right up there with it. So I think he absolutely deserved the Oscar. I loved his speech. It was really... His speech was just... You saw this artist, right? Like, you saw this exposed nerve. This guy was just pouring his heart out, and I really love the humanity in his speech, and I love the humanity in Joaquin. So I really appreciated his whole turn, and I absolutely appreciated the fact that he won. We also have, Renee Zellweger also. Where was she? Like, once again, 5 years ago, she came back, and humanity sucks, and TMZ is what it is, and tabloids make money. So everyone was talking about, like, plastic surgery and bullshit, and then she went and made Judy and got an Oscar. So I'm ever so happy to see RZ just crushing it, and she is absolutely deserving of all of the acclaim, and she is killing it. I just realized my phone isn't plugged in, even though it's plugged in up here, so I gotta find the cord, so bear with me as this is the problem. Technology, guys. When I watch this back later, I will be very embarrassed that this happened, but that's better than losing the charge. Okay, please hold. Okay, and we're back. And it's plugged in. Okay, so I really enjoyed that myself. The Eminem performance was one of the craziest. What an insane thing. And I loved the cutaways to a bunch of very confused people. I loved people not knowing how to rap along or sing along or how to react. That was a very strange everything. So I'm a big Eminem fan, so I really enjoyed it, but it was a very strange tonal choice. Obviously, it's one of my favorite Oscar-winning songs, all my biases aside. Seeing Martin Scorsese attempt to survive the experience was definitely something. Idina Menzel definitely, was not as vibing, but I've always liked Brie Larson, but seeing Brie Larson fully fangirl, like the cutaway to her where she was just like enraptured by the fact that she was just like, I love this, makes me love her even more. I'm definitely a fan of Miss Brie Larson's Eminem love. We've also got the Kobe moment. Spike Lee wearing a Kobe suit is such a powerful love letter to Kobe Bryant, and I love the subtlety of just the little stripes, and you notice the numbers. I thought it was a touching tribute, and I'm a fan of it. What else did I really enjoy? The Holy Trinity of Brie Larson, Sigourney Weaver, and Gal Gadot was, I said Weevil, it's Weaver. I have English wrapped. Okay, the Holy Trinity of them was absolutely incredible. What a powerhouse set of women, and their speech was funny, it was quippy, it was a whole thing, and there is a cat, guys. That cat is hungry, you're correct. He is back at it for round 2. So I really like the Holy Trinity moment. Tom Hanks, best actor, best supporting actor, best attendee, best person. Tom Hanks is just a doll. And at the end, when he had the rise back up moment, the yelling of up with Margot Robbie, and Charlize Theron, thank you, Tom Hanks. Just every time I see him, I want to just, yes. What up, Garth? We also have Deakins winning. How that is only his second win, 15 nominations or so, 2 wins. Roger Deakins is, I think, the Eminem of cinematography. He is the GOAT. He is an absolute powerhouse cinematographer. You can tell what his movies are by his frames. You can tell it's a Deakins film right away. And he's also super inventive. The way he shapes a frame is so powerful. And animated or live action, like he did Rango. And Rango's cinematography is just beautiful. Check out Prisoners. Check out Roger Deakins. If you look at Roger Deakins' IMDb, every single one of those movies is just incredible. So I'm very, very happy with that win. I wrote down Natalie Portman, Timothy Chalamet, Oscar Isaac, Selma Hayek. Those are 2 of the most beautiful sets of people I have ever seen in my life. I'm fairly shallow, so I will just own the fact that seeing that much beauty on stage was just like, good God, they look like paintings. This is like everything like the renaissance of what we thought beauty was and could be, and just everyone, all of them, just some of the most beautiful people in the world doing speeches in pairs. I watched this at ArcLight, so I saw this in the big screen, and I just remember being like, what is this? And then finally, Mahershala Ali. I cannot wait to see him as Blade, and having those brief moments with him on stage reminded me how much I'm excited for Blade. And then finally, my last moment I wrote down that I really enjoyed was just Marty in general. I've had a really tricky time with Martin Scorsese this year because I was defending some of his statements that he kept doubling down, and for some reason, they like to cut to him in the most inopportune times, and it was definitely a funny thing. But I don't know, man. It was a strange thing, Martin Scorsese, and I really wanted to like The Irishman more, and I definitely couldn't get into it, unfortunately. So here we are. And being the first female composer, Joker, she was so, her pure glee juxtaposing the darkness of her score. Thank you for bringing that up. PPPZZZ. I couldn't agree more. That was such a great moment. I can't believe she was the first female composer ever. That's insane. Work on that, Academy. But the score itself is so good and well deserved and powerful, and I just loved how jolly and great she was. And then the darkness of her work, something about that struck me. I really dug it. All right. Super chat, Vanco cannot because he is in Canada. Super chat. Ask me your question, man. I'll try to get to it. I promise. Shia and Zach presenting was another of my favorite moments. I am a big Peanut Butter Falcon fan. Shia had 2 of my top 10 movies of the year with Peanut Butter Falcon and, of course, Honey Boy, my number 1 of the year. And that moment of them presenting was really special. And I love their bond. I love how much you can see their friendship, and I love what that statement said. Like, I love what the Academy did by having them present. So that was a really powerful moment. It was a great Academy Award for moments, but man, was it just not a whole piece for me. Like, it was a lot of, the puzzle pieces were there, but it never came together for me. So I'm hoping, man, I really hope they get a host next year. We'll see. One day, we will see. Okay, let's talk about this new Sony Marvel deal. Okay, we have a date, October 8th, 2021. I don't know what that is, but I do think that means we are tying in Morbius, Venom 2, and Spider-Man 3. I think this is the beginning of the actual Sony shared universe of Marvel characters. They've been calling it SUMC. I think this is the actual beginning. I really think it's I really think it's gonna be good. I know a lot of people want Spider-Man back in the MCU all the way, and I think that's an absolutely wonderful thing. I love Spidey as an Avengers situation, but I also think that I want Spider-Man to feel like Spider-Man. I want an Uncle Ben reference that isn't Iron Man. I want there to be great power and great responsibility taking place in New York. I want a friendly neighborhood character. I want him to be less in space. So I personally am team let's give Sony a shot. I know their track record's tricky. I know a lot of people aren't as big a fan of the choices they've made, but Sony did make the Sam Raimi Spider-Man films, and they did make Into the Spider-Verse, and they did make a $851 million Venom movie. So I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. 10 years ago with Amazing Spider-Man was a different time. It is a new Sony. We might have some of the problems, but we might not. So I'm excited personally because I would love to see a Sinister Six movie. I personally think that new date of October 8th, 2021, which gives us 5, if you're counting Sony, Marvel as one entity, 5 Marvel films in 2021, which is absolutely insane. So, for me, I think it's either going to be Kraven or Madam Web. I think it's either going to be a villain solo movie, which means we'd have Venom, Venom 2, Morbius, and Kraven by the time we got to Sinister Six. We know Adrian Toomes is in there. We know we have the opportunity to have Dimitri from Spider-Man Far From Home be, obviously, Chameleon. We've met Scorpion. We have a Sinister Six basically established. If you guys haven't read my article over on Collider.com, I basically did a dissertation on why I think Kraven should be the next villain. I gave some casting ideas. I gave some shape of storyline. I'd tie in Wakanda. I'd tie in the herbs of Wakanda to basically the herbs that Kraven takes and that fuels him. I'd also make him a poacher of poachers. I would have the most dangerous game be not him hunting animals, but him hunting the people that hunt animals. And maybe he'd wear like the lion as a sign of respect, like someone killed his lion friend, like, because he respects nature and the animals, and then he wears the animals that poachers killed, and that's kind of his trophy. Because I kind of like the idea of Spider-Man being a bit of the villain because he is the menace that is the last few seconds of Spider-Man Far From Home, and that kind of turns into Kraven hunting him as a positive. So I'd like to see Kraven as a bit of a good guy in the eyes of the public, hunting down Spider-Man. That'd be my pitch for the solo movie, and that's what I personally want to see on this October 8th date. And let me see what you guys have said. Vanko said, thanks, man. Just wanted to say that all I could think of when Emino's performance was that your man Chloe be loving this. That is totally true. I'm glad I found that in the chat. Thank you very much. I was so happy. I was cheering. My audience, I watched it in the theater. We were all very, very confused. I was cheering and confused. Many weren't, but it was really, really good. Ray Watson, my day has been awesome. I'm moving, so that's less than awesome because it's stressful, but I made it to the gym. Leg day. Tomorrow I'll be limping. But today I got leg day in. I also, when I get to boss level, I'll talk about some stuff. But yeah, today's been good. So we also have some rumors that Morbius ties into Venom. And there's been, I don't look at paparazzi sites, so I'm not going to share any of them. But I've heard that basically Venom 2 has Spider-Man iconography in it. So we've already seen that Morbius has that strangely the video game Spider-Man looped into the Morbius trailer, and then at the end we have Michael Keaton's Adrian Toomes, so we know that's all connected. We know that whatever Marvel-Sony deal happened, Morbius and Spider-Man are interplayed. I know Venom 2 is going to use those things too, so I personally think we're going to get Sinister Six. I think that'll be in 2022, 2023, and I think that Kraven or Madam Web will be a great way to tie that all together. Also, it'd be fully crazy. My tinfoil hat theory. Are you guys ready? This is absolutely absurd. What if Spider-Man 4? Right? It's never going to happen. But what if Sam Raimi came back and he's doing Doctor Strange and Spider-Man 4? What if Tobey Maguire gets to loop back in through the madness of the multiverse? What if we get actual Sam Raimi, Sony Spider-Man back by way of Doctor Strange, and Sam Raimi gets to make the Spider-Man 4 he always dreamed of? I'd say Stranger Things have happened, but that'd be a Doctor Strange pun that's even shameless for me. So, Doctor Stranger Things have happened. But I really think it's an option. It's like a 0.5% option. But as recently as 2012, Sam Raimi publicly said he would love to make Spider-Man 4. I don't know if Tobey would come back. I doubt Kirsten Dunst would come back. But I would love to see John Malkovich's Vulture more now than ever. And I would love to see Sam Raimi get to conclude that amazing trilogy with a stronger quadrilogy than the third act of Spider-Man 3. So I don't think it's possible. I don't think it's likely. Actually, no, I do think it's possible. I don't think it's likely. What if, guys? What if Spider-Man 4 and then you make a live-action Spider-Verse movie. Again, tinfoil hats. It could be absolutely insane. It probably is, but man, that'd be dope. What else did I write down about the Sony date? It's also interesting that it's an October date because that is obviously a power move from them with how well Venom did. I'm really curious what type of film would land there, what tone they're going for. They're definitely making what I think is going to be kind of like the monster dark Avengers. They were, you remember the Dark Universe they were assembling over at Universal's where all their monster movies were going to kind of team up with Russell Crowe and all that? I think that's what their Sinister Six can be. I think that's what the Rogues Gallery can be. I think there's a lot of opportunity here to basically do a villain assemblage that's Sinister Six, take some of the Dark Universe ideas, do them better, and that's how you keep the Sony universe separate. That's how you have Spider-Man play in both worlds, and it'd be really cool to see an overwhelmed Tom Holland as he gets older playing this new Spider-Man that's lived through all this stuff. Yeah. Claudio, watching at 4 a.m. in Albuquerque, thanks for joining, and I'm glad I can help your insomnia with some confused, hopeful entertainment. Okay, next up, we have Boss Level. I saw Boss Level last night. Boss Level it doesn't have a poster in America yet. It doesn't have a trailer in America yet. I know there's some international stuff going on, so I'm only saying this because I will not spoil a single thing. I'm going to talk about my experience because that feels much safer than talking about the movie itself. Let's talk about the fact that I got to see a movie with some of my favorite actors from one of my favorite directors having not a single frame shown. It was like the 90s. Remember in the 90s when you'd open the newspaper and you'd just look at the movie times and you'd have like a little square of information that's all you knew because the internet wasn't like you'd have to download trailers? That was what it was like. Unless you saw a trailer in the theater or on a VHS tape, you were going in blind. You were going in by the cast, you were going in by a log line. It was really cool to see a movie without any information, and I loved that experience. So, Boss Level is, to be very vague on purpose, an incredible take on a sci-fi concept we've seen before but done in a completely different way. The humor is really strong. The action is, I don't know how they made this movie on this budget and this shooting schedule. The action is absolutely jaw-dropping. I loved the heart of the film, to be honest, though, the most. I'm a big Frank Grillo fan, and Frank Grillo has a lot of really, really emotional through-line moments that really sing. Because you gotta love the character, you gotta love the lead if you're gonna watch this kind of movie. So it's good to see him be a movie star. It's good to see him get to be the lead of something like this good. His producing partner, Joe Carnahan, they work together a lot, and the shorthand really shows. Joe Carnahan is such a great director. I am a huge Smokin' Aces guy. I'm a big fan of The Grey, so this had a lot of expectations without a frame, and it really exceeded them. Mel Gibson is one of my favorite actors of all time. Mel Gibson in this steals so many scenes with just the fierceness of his eyeballs. It's so hard not to give anything away, but I absolutely won't because I want you all to have the experience I did. There's a bevy of memorable characters. There is a world of quotables in this. There is action that will be replicated and attempted to copy for years to come, and it is a really good action time at the movies. So as soon as there's an opportunity for you to see it, wherever you're watching this from, do seek it out. I will keep you guys updated. This feels like it's like my own little passion project where if there's a domestic release, I'm going to shepherd it and try to keep you guys informed. Boss Level is Frank Grillo, Mel Gibson, directed by Joe Carnahan. There's a bunch of casts that I don't know if they're public or not that were fantastic. There's someone in it that, as a New England Patriots fan, really enjoyed. It's on Joe Carnahan's Instagram, or it was. So I feel like that's safe to say. I don't even say beyond that. But there's a lot of really fun moments, cameos, excitement, and it's a damn good time at the movies. And I really hope it gets a theatrical release domestically because the experience of seeing it in the theater was really special, and it's a really special time. So check out this movie, Boss Level, as soon as you get the chance, whenever you can find it. And if you're international watching this from somewhere other than the States, if you get to see it, let me know what you think. And domestically, once it's out there, like I said, I will shepherd this forward. So it is a good time. All right. Let's see. This went on my radar. Yes, now you know. Yes, Brian and G. That is the correct guess. If you're reading the live chat, I can say that. Let's transition over to Xeno Hour. That is a fair assessment of the film. I'm not gonna repeat it out loud because I don't want anyone to know even close to the premise. Boogs Boogie in the live chat asks, a little off topic, is there going to be a new episode of Comic Book Shopping soon? maybe that's on topic. Maybe that's exactly on topic. But I don't know. We will see. I hopefully will be able to announce the new episode of Comic Book Shopping very soon. I'm going to Amazing Comic-Con Hawaii in a week, so I'll be out of town, and we're trying to figure out some scheduling stuff with perhaps someone that isn't off topic to be on Comic Book Shopping. So maybe, how was that transition? To Amazing Comic-Con Hawaii. Amazing Comic-Con Aloha is a con that I do every year that I am a giant fan of. I love the people that run it. I love the people that attend it. I love Hawaii. I love the local culture and flavor of the world. Everyone I met in Hawaii has been just stupendously nice. The people there are just so excited to talk about comics and to share their opinions and feelings and thoughts about characters. I had a really special time last time I went because I got to... It was one of the last public appearances at a con circuit with George Perez, and I got to go out and have dinner with George Perez, which was one of those life moments where you look up and you're like, I'm in Hawaii with George Perez. What? So I'm a big fan of that whole con. This year, Billy D. Williams is coming. We've got Donnie Cates, who is a friend and also one of the best writers, hard stop. One of the best writers working in comics. I love what he's doing on Thor. I love his run on Venom. His Guardians is a blast. Redneck is fantastic. Thanos is just so brutal. Donnie Cates writes the hell out of these characters. His Cosmic Ghost Rider is so much fun. So I'm really excited to talk to Donnie in Hawaii. The lineup is fantastic. Check out Amazing Comic-Con Aloha for the full rundown. There's so many people coming that I can't wait to talk to, and it's going to be a really good time. It is the 21st through the 23rd on Honolulu. I think, is it on Honolulu? Is that the proper? It's on the island that features Honolulu, because I'm flying into the Honolulu airport next week. So if you guys are in Hawaii, or if you have the time to get and the money to jump on a flight, I will be there next week, and I'm very excited for all of my friends that do the con with me, and it should be a good time. The Power Rangers go. It's so much fun. I next time I do one of these, I'll jump on. I'll read you guys the list of everything's coming, because it is a good time. It is currently 8:15 in LA. Okay, let's see. Stizzy's House says, is the Phoenix story best captured in a movie or series? Series, for sure. Definitely a series. That is way too long to be a movie, and that's why they keep failing. I remember, I think it was R&B saying to Schnepp that you need an attachment, really, really nice, innocent Jean Grey, so it matters when she's her Phoenix bad girl. Yes, you need a run. You need series. You need to be invested in the characters. You need to care about the relationship between Scott and Jean, so that when you lose Jean, it matters. You need to care about Logan's relationship with Jean. You need to care about Jean Grey. You can't have just met her. All the X-Men need to be established. The whole world needs to be established. You need to care about them terrestrially and cosmically. Absolutely a series. It should be at least 8 hours. At least, and I'd argue it should be the end of a trilogy that then goes to 8 hours. Like, you should have 3 movies and then a Phoenix trilogy of movies. I'd do 6 films before... Anyway, that's a long conversation. I don't know how that just happened, but here we are. Galen Shumway says, Koy, you're the best. This is a super chat. Thank you, Galen. Koy, you're the best. What characters or story are you excited for in Season 2 of The Boys? I cannot wait. Also, any word on Umbrella Academy Season 2? Okay. I'm excited for... Man, I'd love to see if they did. I don't know what they're doing. I'd love to see if they did Herogasm. I would love to see them go deeper into the female storyline. I would love to see... they did a really cool thing in the first season where they jumped around. Like, you'd have issue 1, issue 13, issue 20, and they kind of, like, played with the storyline from the comics without sacrificing continuity. So there's a lot of stuff where they can really dive into the underground of the other teams. They can dive into the hierarchy of supers. There's a lot they can do, and most of all, I'm really excited to see basically what happens with the I don't want to give away spoilers. What happens at the end of the season 1, the kid. I want to see what that turns into, because that's a way down the line in the comics. So I'm really curious. But overall, I was really impressed with him being able to balance the Warren Ellis religious and political overtones and make it relevant to today without being overbearing. And I think that what they're going to do with season 2 is continue that, but now they know what the audience likes. I think they're going to be able to learn that the audience likes this certain worldview and tonality and be able to kick it up to an 11. I think we're going to get a lot of set pieces like the airplane. I think we're going to get way more action this season, and I think we're going to get a lot more supers. So I'm really excited for The Boys season 2. I hope that answers your question. Edward Haskell asks, Coy, when choosing... What up, man? When choosing to go to a Comic-Con, do you contact them or do they contact you? They usually contact me. Fun fact, I have to fight to get into SDCC, or I did. Like, the last 2 years have been a little different, but it's usually a big thing, and I literally talk about comics for a living. So Comic-Cons are tricky. San Diego's huge, so there's a lot of moving parts. That one's usually a little bit tricky, but usually people contact me, and then I happily offer my services. I love moderating. I love hosting. I love doing Q&As. I've sold out entire panel rooms, and I've always been confused and aghast and flattered, so I'd love to do that more. I really want to work for Ace Comic-Con. If you or anyone you know works for Ace Comic-Con, I love the world you guys have built. I really want to do Ace Comic-Con Boston, so if you are part of that, this is me saying, hey, I want to work with you guys. So whoever has any connections there, I'm a Boston kid, and I really want to go home for a con, and I'm also just endlessly impressed at the... Basically, you guys put on like such an incredible show, and it's all sprung up in the last like 10 years. I've been really impressed with Ace Comic-Con. So that is me saying you guys are great. New York Comic-Con on Long Island, you have Eternal Con, which has been getting bigger every year. If any of those people reaches out, I'm all for it, man. I'd love to. I love New York. I want to go back to New York as often as possible. Cat hair in my eyeball. New York is one of my favorite places in the world, so I will go back any opportunity I can. If a con from New York wants me, I'll be there in a heartbeat without fail. Okay, back to the news. I don't know if you guys heard, there is a rumor going around that Shazam 2 and Black Adam 1, obviously, are filming simultaneously. So the rumor is, with those filming simultaneously, we might get the release dates a lot closer, and now I'm wondering if it's going to go Shazam, Black Adam, and Black Adam ends on a cliffhanger that jumps right into Shazam 2. I would love if Black Adam is like Infinity War, where it's a complete film, but it's also leading to Endgame. I would love if it is a part 1, part 2, and I would really appreciate if it comes out soon thereafter, because those kids are not going to stay young. Kids grow up so fast. So with a cast of children, it's really hard to have these gaps in time. So I think they should film, especially with a lot of the cast from It to It Chapter 2. That was only a year. Totally different people. What up, Jack Dylan Grazer, of both? So I would really like to see that happen back to back. And I'd love also to see basically Black Adam play an anti-hero that turns into the villain in the third act, and then there's a cliffhanger that leads to Shazam 2. I think it'd be a great way to really flesh out all the characters. And it'd be really cool to have a trilogy of Shazam, because I was really impressed with Shazam. I thought it was a great leap, not just step, but leap in the DC universe for the diversity of content they were making. And the people saying that email, Edward Haskell saying they'll email the people in New York, thank you very much. I will absolutely be there if that's an option. Yeah, so I really think it's going to be interesting to see what happens with these little different pocket universes. I'm going to be doing my spoiler full Birds of Prey review at the end of this episode. Someone in the chat just asked what happened. I'm going to talk box office. I'm going to talk my spoiler review. A lot of people, the only negative comments I got on my spoiler-free review is that I didn't have any negatives to say, but I still gave it a B+. I will tell you why it wasn't an A for me, because all those things that made it not an A were spoilers, so we'll get into that near the end of the episode. But I do think Shazam 2 and Black Adam is a realistic thing. I think with The Rock's schedule, you shoot as much as you can when the man has time. That guy is doing 8 movies at a time while bringing his gym all around the world, while making spin-offs to movies we don't even know exist yet. The Rock is... How that man has 24 hours in the day, the same 24 hours we have, is just jarring. But I really want that to be a 1-2 punch. We also had this week... Wait for it. Sam Raimi is doing Doctor Strange 2. What? The actual Strange? I would have thought that Guillermo del Toro was a 1 in a million chance. I would have thought that most of the names bandied about that we just pipe dream. Sam Raimi is the pipe dream of pipe dreams. This is Evil Dead. This is... I mean, obviously Spider-Man, but this is the man who shaped so much of hokey, in a positive way, creature effect, world-building strangeness, and Doctor Strange is that. So my concerns are basically if it's going to be a Marvel letting him run rampant, or Marvel wanting... Obviously, it's a sequel, effectively, to WandaVision leading to the next thing. It is establishing a multiverse. There's so much that's going to be coming out of this film, so I'm hoping that Sam Raimi can live in that framework, which is very vital, very important. I personally am very much team giant macro success, and you make the movies what they can be in that framework, because it's worked for 23 going on 24 films. And damn near all of them are incredible, and they've done that. They've managed to live in that framework. They were learning in phase one, and some of those didn't land as well, but they learned from them and made more. So I'm personally, if they can make a Sam Raimi film that works as a post-WandaVision, pre-Eternals, not pre-Eternals, pre-world expansion through the multiverse, then we're in for an incredible time. And once again, tinfoil hat craziness, what if the multiverse allows for the Sony Tobey Maguire Spider-Man to be involved? Like, it's an absolute pipe dream. It's an absolute crackhead theory, but I am just enamored by the concept. And no matter what, Sam Raimi making Doctor Strange makes sense. I hope we get Nightmare. I hope we get creature effects. I hope we get in-camera edits. I hope we get scenes like the Doc Ock scene in Spider-Man 2 with all the crazy tentacles, that full-on monster movie moment. Because I want Bleecker Street to be a monster movie. I want to go in that place and be terrified, but also like weirdly enchanted. I want the Page Master meets Evil Dead meets Doctor Strange. That's what I want. It's gonna be weird, and give me it. So I really think there's a good opportunity here to really grow with Sam Raimi, and I agree. Someone in the live chat said he really wants to play with Steve Ditko's... Yeah, Seattle KO said he wants to play with Steve Ditko's toys again. 100%. That's absolutely what's happening. It's a great opportunity, and I can't wait to see what his take on Doctor Strange even is. So I also wrote down that we will not be getting Rachel McAdams as the Night Nurse back. So that's interesting, because Night Nurse to me is vital to many of the classic Doctor Strange stories. Not all of them, and obviously there are multiple Night Nurses. It's a bummer though, because I feel like Rachel McAdams didn't get the chance to show her version of Night Nurse. Like, there was so much story to tell. I was really hoping we'd discover Rachel's take on that Marvel Universe character more as the series progressed. I thought it was a great start. I'm bummed. I wanted more Rachel McAdams. I'm a big fan of her work, and I think that there was a lot of potential there, so that's a bummer. And then just the style of the film, I can't wait for the first trailer. With this announcement, this is already my most anticipated trailer, because it's just going to be... I have no idea what a Sam Raimi Doctor Strange looks like, while having absolutely every idea what a Doctor Strange Sam Raimi collab might feel like. It's so good. I'm so excited. As soon as schedules allow, I've been trying to scheme something with Matt Key. If you guys have followed me since the Marvel Movie News days, Matt Key is the biggest Doctor Strange fan I know, and the man has theories, so I want to talk with him. My biggest theory is Nightmare, and the multiverse kind of being a reverse House of M, where the reality-shattering aspects of Scarlet Witch that happen at the end of WandaVision lead into a shattered reality that Doctor Strange needs to put back together. And I think that Vision is actually dead, and we only have him in the shattered reality of Wanda's mind, and that causes some problems in Doctor Strange. So I think that those two things are very connected, and I think that if we have a shattered reality with Sam Raimi behind the helm, like with Sam Raimi driving that ship, is going to be a damn good time. So I'm really excited about that. We will absolutely see. And also, as ever, I want to give a shout out to John Getz, who sent me a Steve Ditko letter, a handwritten letter by Steve Ditko, and then a Stan Lee signature beneath it, and it's all in this beautiful frame. As you guys probably know, I'm a giant Stan Lee, Steve Ditko obsessive. So that is one of the most precious things I have to my name, and I got it for Christmas from Getz, and holy crap. So thank you while we're on the Steve Ditko conversation. All right, let's see what we got next. I'm going to quickly look through Night Nurses, proper nomenclature. I hang out with y'all more, my real life friends. Justin, thanks for joining us, man. I appreciate it. All right. Also, I love the fact that I also have talked to a few people who have been being mods. I will have mods in the live chat, but right now, while there's half 100 of you, there's 54 people in here. The fact that everybody's so chill is we've gathered a good koi pond, and I continue to appreciate you, and I will be shaping the mods as needed, but right now, everyone's fantastic. And Edward Haskell, as ever, the ambassador of the koi pond, just being the best. Okay. We got Doctor Strange 2, talked about Schmoedown. Didn't talk about the Schmoedown yet because it dropped this week, earlier in the week. It dropped on Patreon last week, but I didn't want to give any spoilers now that it is available on YouTube. I want to talk about how proud I am of my team, man. They were just incredible. If you are not a Schmoedown fan, or if you haven't seen it yet, I'm only going to do like 2 or 3 minutes on this, and then I'm going to get into the Birds of Prey thing, so bear with me. But 25, 26, 27. What a score. What a triple threat. What a crazy opener to the season. The kid trained his butt off. Me and Bibbs trained our butts off. Me, Bibbs, and the kid trained our butts off. To see the kid play that incredibly at singles made me very proud. To see the audience and meet so many of you, many people in the koi pond, to meet you guys in person, absolutely an honor. Like, truly an honor. To see you in 3D with just your 2D names before was so cool. The event itself was great. I've watched the live play by the replay twice. The energy in that room was contagious and enormous, and I love the Schmo community so much. I am very excited for you guys as the season unwraps. I'm really excited for the next thing. I don't even know what's public yet, so I'm not going to say anything. But the next thing I'm very excited about, and as soon as I can talk about the next thing, believe me, I will. So thank you very much for being Schmo fans and for the warm welcome in New York. And the way I trained Shazam is very different than the way I trained the Real Rejects, and both I think are going to be interesting in the rest of the faction and shaping the faction. And I've definitely got some new ideas about the faction since training with Shazam, and it worked. Like, I'm really proud of the way they played, and I'm really proud of everything we've got so far. Okay, back to the news. Let's do a Birds of Prey spoiler, shall we? Let's talk Birds of Prey spoiler review. Full spoilers. If you haven't seen Birds of Prey yet, please do. 1, it needs it box office wise. 2, it's a really, really great step in comic expansion. I think it's a really great way to navigate the amount of comic films. And 3, I think it sends a very important message to a lot of the people who are really loud in a lot of wrong ways if it gains steam its second weekend. I hope that the renaming of Harley Quinn Birds of Prey does help boost it. I hope it has legs because of word of mouth, and I hope it shuts a lot of assholes up. So let's talk about the movie itself. I'm going to talk about the things I liked first, and then the flaws that made it a B instead of an A. I loved Gotham in this. It was like Batman and Robin's Gotham, but only the things I liked about it. Now, if you rewatch Batman and Robin, that is the craziest Gotham of all, and this is that, but just the good stuff meets the animated series. This was a live-action cartoon. It gathered a lot of the animated energy, which is perfect because that's where Harley debuted. At times, this felt like a drama. At times, it felt like a comic book film. At times, it felt like a live-action cartoon. And that's fair because that's the culmination of all the different storylines in this film. I loved Margot's take. I loved Mary Elizabeth Winstead's take. I loved Montoya in this. I loved everything except Cassandra Cain, and that's not the actress's fault. We're going to get to that in a minute. So I loved almost all of the birds themselves and everything they did with the amount of time they got. I think that we have a really good opportunity for Huntress going forward. I think we have a really good opportunity for Montoya going forward. I obviously think we're going to see Harley in Suicide Squad. I want to see James Gunn's take. But I think the movie overall is a great example of leaving X-Men. Okay, remember X-Men in 2000? It didn't follow a single comic book storyline. X-Men 2 loosely followed God Loves, Man Kills. But overall, it felt like a really good mutant movie, but it didn't follow an X-Men storyline. I think Birds of Prey was a really good Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey movie that will bring people to read Birds of Prey. So when the sequel happens, it'll be a Birds of Prey film. You need, in a studio system, to lean on the marketable character that you've met before, especially if you're doing a budget like this. It was a lower budget, but still a budget. So I understood from a filmmaking standpoint why they had to have Harley Quinn front and center, and especially with this rename, and it worked for me. I'm hopeful we get more Birds of Prey in Birds of Prey 2, and I think we will, to be totally honest. But I really didn't mind the balance of power in the film. I really loved the comedy. I loved Bruce the Hyena. He kept stealing scenes for me. And I talked about it in my spoiler-free review. Ewan McGregor is now amongst my favorite comic book villain portrayals of all time. Of all time. Forever. That moment with him yelling, "These are my things!" was that line on paper is such a different line than that line coming out of Ewan McGregor. And that is the fun of this movie, is now when I read Black Mask, any of the normal lines, I can hear the different take that he's given me of Black Mask. I never thought of Black Mask that way, but he was so just gosh and in love, like not G-O-S-H, like G-A-U-C-H-E. He was so love with just the most absurd, posh, and ridiculous things that of course he's this petulant child with like an inferiority complex while being a narcissist. The character was so much fun, and it gave me a new take on Black Mask, which is a character I already liked but now love. I can't wait to reread Black Mask comics and hear that take, because Ewan changed the character for me. I really liked that they had that maniacal of a character opposite one of the clowns in the DC universe, and it worked. I also think that Victor Zsasz was... Man, Chris Messina, I feel like, needs more love. That take on Victor Zsasz was not what I expected, but exactly what I now want. It was a different... Like, the glee he got, this childlike, almost Smeagol glee to, like, carve people up. Of course, the guy that carves into his own kid would love taking faces off with that much passion and glee. And we've seen tastes of that in the animated series and stuff, but I feel like Chris Messina really found something special, and I love their relationship. The power dynamic of Black Mask controlling someone that takes pride in toying with his prey. Like, of course, Black Mask, who is someone that loves power, would take power in watching someone torture someone else. The power dynamic between Zsasz and Black Mask was one of my favorite elements, and the flirtation between Ewan McGregor and Chris Messina was beautiful. You felt that relationship, like, it felt real, and I loved that. And it also wasn't over the top for the movie. Like, the movie's so big that, like, their playful banter while cutting off faces totally worked, and I really dug that. So I really, really enjoyed it. Those were all highlights. Let me tell you a couple things I did not like. And then apparently people are talking about Streamlabs, so I'll jump over to the Streamlabs. A couple things I didn't like were it took a lot from Deadpool in a way that I felt it was doing that after the fact. Like, I feel like the Harley Quinn show has a lot of Deadpool there, but I've never really quite thought of Harley in that way. And now they're using her in that way, which I'm totally okay with. But they took a lot of the narrative structure from the Deadpool 1 movie in a way that I don't mind that. But it felt like it was done a little later in the game, and I don't know if that's true. I'm not a producer on this. I have nothing to say about the actual making of the film, but it felt like it was a narrative device that, like, it caused some pacing issues. Whereas I feel like it was a strength in Deadpool, I feel like it was a weakness in this. I think that some of the flashbacks didn't work. I think some of the narration didn't work as well for me. And, like, this is me splitting hairs, because I promised I'd give you guys some of the things that dropped it down to a B+ for me. Cassandra Cain is mute. Cassandra Cain is a very aggressively dark character, and I feel like the origin of her as a pickpocket worked for me, but she was jubilant. She was bouncy. She was fun, and I don't personally read Cassandra Cain that way, so I didn't love that they went that way with the characters. That knocked it down for me. I think they could have named her another thing, and it would have been better. Or they could have had her be more like the comic, but one of the two. And this is coming from a guy who had no problem with Birds of Prey, steering away from Birds of Prey, because it still had the heart. So it just, like, that level of specificity really bothered me that they, like, left it behind altogether. So those are my nitpicks. Overall, I really think the movie... Did it work? Did I have technical prowess? Did I do something with the internet that went well? Tell me, internet. Okay, let's see. Did it work? Testing. Oh, yeah. Okay, I think I did it. Welcome back, internet. We did a thing. This is the first time that I was able to do a positive technical thing that I didn't cause the bad of, but just fixed it. My internet karma is turning around, y'all. Very excited. Okay, so back to the news this week. I also wanted to say that they had the giant call between, like, Bob Iger and all the Disney side, and I didn't talk about it 2 weeks ago because I was focused on a lot of the other stuff. But basically, Conor McGregor changed the entire structure of ESPN Plus by literally 10 million subscribers. When the Conor McGregor fight was happening, within a week, it went from 66 million to 76 million subscribers. I just want to say the power of Conor McGregor is 10 million subscribers for ESPN+. That's not related to comic books. That's the Curl side of the show. But I think that's like, what an athlete. Like, what a presence in sport. That is incredible. So I just wanted to have that fun fact out at you guys. Okay, now we're going to move on to comic books themselves. Let's talk about comic books. Tim Barry. Thank you, Tim Barry. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Welcome back. Super Chat is working. All right, thank you all for the Super Chats. They mean the world, and they help me do this more often, because I would love to do this every day. So, let's look at comics. The end of the show, I'm going to try to always wrap out with comics. So first, I'm going to give you my favorite comics from 3 weeks ago, because I'm catching up. So I just finished comics from January 15th. My January 15th favorite comic books are Archie, 710. Batman's Grave, number 4. Jessica Jones Blind Spot, number 1. I'll talk about that one because it's the beginning of a series. This was printed digitally. This was a book that was printed a few years back, but it was only a digital book, and now they're finally releasing them in paper. I didn't read the digital. It slipped my radar. Kelly Thompson is an incredible writer, but I missed her take on Jessica Jones, so I am literally reading from issue 1 in paper, buying it in print. I am a big fan of this book. It is hard to follow Brian Michael Bendis' Jessica Jones. Alias is one of the best comics of all time. So to follow that is a hell of a tall order. I'm really loving it, and it's a really, really different take on Jessica Jones, and the end of issue 1 is a cliffhanger and a half, so check that out. We also have Lolo Woods number 2. This is only the second issue of this strange, almost Silent Hill-esque town story. It's part of the DC Hill House line, which is part of the DC Black Label line. So, DC Comics, DC Black Label, DC Hill House, Lolo Woods. It's like that series of umbrellas. So, basically, Lolo Woods is you're in this town that is really messed up and really strange, and all these things keep happening, and they can't explain them, and it almost feels like the Silent Hill 1 video game, going back to PS1. It's really ethereal, and it's haunting, and it subverts your expectations. I love the art, I love the writing, I love this whole line. So Lolo Woods, number 2. We also have Question, The Deaths of Vic Sage, number 2. If you guys aren't reading all of the DC Black Label books, you can jump on almost any one. They're all great. This is another one. The art is this really kinetic, scratchy style. The Question is a character that I love dearly, and this is a really different take than anything I've seen from him. I love the format of this book. Do check it out. Runaways number 29. The new Runaways book continues to be one of the best books on the shelves. Rainbow Rowell is just handling this book. The art is fantastic. The stories are, it feels like the show was canceled, but I can live on in the comic, and that really is some closure, because I love the Runaways, and the book is a lot of fun, and it's really good for all ages. Like, most anyone can read Runaways, so if you want to get your kids into comics, Runaways is a great place. We've also got Marvel's Spider-Man Black Cat Strikes number 1. That is a mouthful. Marvel's Spider-Man, implying it is from the comic book video game universe. So it is the video game take on the character. So the Spider-Man PS4, Marvel Spider-Man, Black Cat Strikes. So this is the third of these PS4 comic book stories, and this is Black Cat Tale, and she is fun and spunky, and Spider-Man is very all ages in this book. I'd say this is like maybe not all ages, maybe this is like a 12 plus, because it's got some of that, like, teen hormones flavor. But it's really fun. Black Cat is great in it, and it's really accessible. You don't have to have read the game. Played the game. You don't have to have read comics. It is a really approachable book, and it's good for anyone that wants to jump on Spider-Man. It's a lot of fun. Marvel also released, that is all for those young adult books. We've also got Superman's Pal Jimmy Olsen. Superman's Pal Jimmy Olsen, number 7. The book continues to be great. Steve Lieber on art is so much fun. The writer is slipping my mind right now. Apologies. It is a really different book. It is a series of anthology stories that all kind of coalesce, but there's mysteries involved. You kind of have to jump and leave and weave. It's a really fun time. It's very strange. We've also got Undiscovered Country number 3, which is Charles Soule and Scott Snyder. It's totally unlike anything else I'm reading. It is about America being closed down, like the United States is closed, and you're kind of diving into the world of basically a post-dystopian United States, and it's all the science and discoveries of that, and it's this really fun sci-fi high fiction take on the future crumble of the United States, and it's a really interesting read. Then we've got Valkyrie Jane Foster #7. This issue is kind of its own like one-off. It's a really, you can just pick this issue up and you should understand a lot of what's going on. And it's really like, it's heart-wrenching. This is a really strong issue. I love where they're going with Valkyrie. And then finally, Venom the End #1. This is probably the densest book of the week. Venom the End is like a thesis paper. Venom the End talks about astrophysics and psychology and many scientific theorems, many unproven theories. It is such a mind-blowing book, and it takes place over the course of millennia. And it is unlike anything else I've read of Venom. It is a really strange... I loved this book. You don't have to have read a Venom book ever, and you can read this book. You don't have to have read a comic book ever, and this would be a weird one to jump on, but it is a fun time. So do check out Venom the End. It is a really weird time. Okay, I'm going to jump into the live chat very quick. Happy birthday. Whose birthday was it? Happy birthday. Let's see. Kelsey, is it your birthday? Happy birthday. Okay, what else we got? Comic book related, Why the Last Man series coming to TV or not getting off the paper? Ooh, I hope it does, but I am worried more and more. I've wanted it since Shia LaBeouf was attached. I'd love to see Why the Last Man happen. Let's see. Will they give Silver and Black another try? Yes, but I don't think that's the 2021 date. I think we'll see Silver and Black in like 2022, 23. I think we'll still get it though. Let's see. The owner of a comic store, the comics you can read for free. Let's see. All right. That is the live chat. I am caught up briefly. Let's wrap this up with the pulls for today. It is Wednesday. It is New Comic Book Day. I'm going to give you guys some recommendations before I take off, because that feels like a good Wednesday thing to do. In the future, by the way, this will make Edward Haskell very happy. In the future, the plan is a Tuesday show. I have not decided whether it's going to be 2 or 5, and then a Friday show. I'm thinking a show twice a week to start, and I'm going to try to lock in times. That way I can be an honorable gentleman, and then all of you amazing guys who have been helping will be a little less stressed, because you'll just be able to share the link. That is a known time. Thank you for all your patience. That is the plan. Either 2 or 5 on Tuesdays, and then Friday I'm thinking midday. That way, any news that breaks Wednesday, Thursday, I cover Friday. Any news that breaks Monday, Tuesday, I cover Tuesday night. I'm always on it, which is nice. And then I can cover movie reviews Friday, and that'll help you shape your weekend. I can cover comics that I read the week before Tuesday, and recommend comics for you to pick up the following day, Wednesday. So it's all planned out for a reason. And if this goes well, if I can keep the live chats going, the super chat, if I can get the super chats and the Streamlabs going, then I will absolutely be able to do this more often. And speaking of super chats, we've got Piz saying, bring Amy as your next guest. Miss seeing the two of you together. From Patrick. Patrick, thank you very much. Actually, Amy and I talked the other day because we both are like missing a platform. So I live currently fairly far away from Amy, and I am hoping that when I move to my new studio, I'll be close enough to Amy that we can make some more content happen. So I see all of your calls for Amy, and I definitely want that as well. Know that yes, Patrick, that is the goal, and that is definitely what I would love to have happen. And I'd love to talk Birds of Prey with her, because I haven't gotten to yet. You guys, like, it's hard because I know how much you guys want to hear us, like, have the conversations that you want to, like, I miss them too, so I can't wait to have that option. Like, I miss sharing movie reviews with Amy as much as you guys miss watching them, because I haven't gotten to talk about Birds of Prey with the person I saw Amy every single week. I haven't seen Amy this year. I went from seeing Amy every single Tuesday to film to I haven't gotten to see my friend in 2020. So I definitely, I want that too. Okay. We got a super chat back over in it. Galen back in the super chat. Thank you, Galen Shumway. Your name is cool, by the way. Galen Shumway is a badass name. I could see that like in a book. You see the biggest story of the Oscars, the banner flying high for Alita Battle Angel 2 behind the plane flying over the Oscars. I did not see that. But that's very exciting. I know a lot of people want that Alita Battle Angel 2 to go on. That is a smart marketing move. That is very clever. I hope it happens for everybody that put that energy and money out in there into it. That's really exciting. Hell yeah. Give us Alita Battle Angel 2. While we're here, let's see. I see some call to action super chat madness. Let's see. Call to action raid. What up, everyone? The call to action army. You guys are amazing. We have finally spoke on Instagram and plans have been hatched. I'm going to be doing a couple of call to action shows, which we have talked about many times, but I'm glad we have some calendar schemes. I'm very excited. And anyone that's in the koi pond, check out Call to Action. They're incredible people. Okay, now let's talk about this week's comic books before my laptop dies. This is for February 12th. This is literally today, so you haven't been to the comic store this week. I recommend, I'm just going to speed through them, and then when I catch up on reading them, I'll give a review. I haven't read any of these books yet. I don't have magic powers. Let's see. Ascender 9 from Image. Clock 2 from Image. Those are two I am picking up. Over at... let's look at all the houses. I'm literally going through my previews right now, so bear with me. I wanted to give you guys this info, but did not write them down yet. We are going over to DC Comics. Animal Man by Grant Morrison, trade paperback volume 1. Animal Man is one of the most important comics of all time. I'm not being hyperbolic. One of the most important comics of all time is being reprinted this week. Trade paperback 1, $30. Animal Man is so good. If you haven't read it, please do. From me to you, you will love Animal Man. Do check it out. Grant Morrison, it's brilliant. Okay, let's see what else from DC. We've also got this week Batman's Grave number 5. As you guys know, I am enjoying the hell out of that run. Batman Pennyworth, Rest in Peace number 1. Oof, that's going to be a brutal read. That's going to be hard to get through, but I need to check it out. Dollhouse Family number 4, another one of the DC Black Label, DC Hill House lines. Flash number 88 will be another one I am picking up. Green Lantern Season 2 number 1. This is an interesting book. They're giving us legacy numbers in a way, but also giving us a new number 1. So you can jump on this book. I think this is really smart. Calling it Season 2 gives you a good place to jump on. If you're a Green Lantern fan, check out this book. Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey number 1. What a convenient time for that book to come out. I think that ties beautifully into a certain movie in theaters, which you should see. Check out that book. We've also got... what else am I myself picking up? Also, if there's books that are coming out this week that I'm not mentioning, it's not to disparage them. I only have so much time and money. Supergirl number 39, friend of mine, Mark Andreyko, continues his awesome Supergirl run. Superman number 20, Mr. Brian Michael Bendis, putting in work. And then Wonder Woman number 751, I am very excited for as well. All right, Marvel Comics, that was all my DC stuff. Over at Marvel, I'll be picking up Amazing Spider-Man 39. We finally got more Ryan Otley and Nick Spencer. Very excited. We've got, what else am I very excited about? Doctor Strange number 3. Mark Waid is writing the hell out of Doctor Strange. I'm enjoying the hell out of that book. Excalibur number 7. Excalibur's on the lower end of my favorite of the Hoxpox. Not shitting on this book, but there's a lot of X-Men books. I'm hoping it turns for me. It is one of my lower ones, but I will be obviously still checking it out. Gwen Stacy gets a book this week with Gwen Stacy number 1. Obviously going to be checking that out. Hawkeye Freefall number 3. Immortal Hulk 31. Immortal Hulk is just so damn good. What else am I picking up? Jessica Jones Blind Spot number 3. We've got the next issue of Marvel Spider-Man Black Cat Strikes Back. That is number 2. It's actually, this kind of works out that I'm so behind because all the books I just recommended the last issue of, the following issues out this week because I'm a month behind. Good God. I'm never this far behind. Savage Avengers number 10. And let's see, scrolling. Thor number 3, Donny Cates. Venom number 23, Donny Cates. And X-Men number 6 from Jonathan Hickman. Oh, and X-Force number 7. X-Force is probably my favorite new post-Hoxpox book. Those are all the ones I would recommend from the House of Ideas, Marvel Comics. So, Marvel also, you'll notice I recommended like 10 DC books and like 15 Marvel books. It is not a bias. It is the amount of books Marvel puts out versus the amount of book DC books out. I'm actually... very much in love with Marvel, DC, Image, Dark Horse, Boom. Everyone's putting out a lot of really good content. It's just the quantity of books. So before my YouTube chat becomes like Marvel shill, just count the books, and there's more from one of the companies than the other. That is just math. Okay, what else we got? I think that might be all of the must reads for me this week. And obviously I'll be reading more than that, and I'll be reporting back if anything was a big surprise that snuck up on me. I always try to read as much as I can and report back to you guys. I'm going to quickly jump in the live chat to wrap this up and make sure I didn't miss anything. Streamlabs or Super Chat or any of that madness. I'm popping over now. And as ever, thank you guys for being patient. I know it's late most places in the world. It is very important to me that you guys jump in because it really helps me keep this going. We've got a Streamlabs from Smack Talk 3. One, your name is fantastic. Smack Talk 3. And he says, always love your optimistic energy. Keep being awesome-tacularistic. I will, and I like your words. I'll do that very thing. Okay, back into the chat. Let's see. Galen is awesome. Gordon Shumway is your nickname. Dude, all the names. Okay, I see a lot of Action Army. Hell yeah, I'll be jumping in there soon. Tim Berry says, Excalibur, cannot wait. PC says, can't wait to see you at C2A Channel Koi. Thank you, man. I really hope that me being over there helps them grow, helps me grow. I love the internet is so symbiotic. It's a beautiful thing, man. If we use all of the knowledge that humanity has ever gleaned for good instead of evil, what the internet could be is truly magnificent. Think about what we accomplished in the hundreds of years before the internet. Think about when we were like reading encyclopedias, using dictionaries on hand, walking around with books, or even before that, oral traditions. Before that, cave paintings. We were able to get to this point in society without interconnectedness to the level we are now, and we use that interconnectedness to be assholes, trolls, send dick pics, attack each other. Fuck that. Imagine what we could do if we use this level of interconnected intelligence to actually make the world better, and that starts in the motherfucking koi pond with you guys. So thank you. It really does start with you, and I thank you. I appreciate you. Okay. Jeremiah Morris. Wait, I was told no math. Sorry. I'll do the math. Let's see. Star Drew, I will be seeing Sonic the Hedgehog. Maybe I'll review it on Friday's show. My mom says, Juliana says hi. My little sister Juliana is incredible. Vanco, I'm so grateful for your streams. For real, they help me de-stress for my week. Hope you can keep doing this for a while. Dude, thank you. And the fact that you wanted to send a super chat but couldn't because of Canada. Anyone sending me anything, it means the world. Personal moment. I'm going to have one with y'all because you're in the koi pond. I definitely feel weird about this setup because I always get insecure about like Streamlabs and saying super chats, and it's my own insecurity. Like I'm much more used to going to a studio and then figuring out like, you know, there's a direct deposit. It feels different this way, but this allows me to be much more myself. This allows me to talk about more things that I care about. This allows me a live conversation with you. I couldn't keep up a live conversation on Heroes that wasn't live. I couldn't do a lot of the things I can do through this. So through you guys supporting me, that allows for this to happen. So anyone that does means the world. Anyone that can't, you're here, and that means the world. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'm getting used to this being the new norm, and it's going to be squirrely for a bit, but y'all are the best, truly. Okay. End sentiment. Let's see. Koi, you're the best, thank you. All the little heart faces are great. Koi is not a Marvel shill, but Skybound sponsors the Schmoedown where Koi is a manager, so he's technically a Skybound comic shill. He needs to plug The Walking Dead, Invincible, etc. more often. Well, you see, the thing about that is, I've actually worked for Skybound a bunch. If you go over to Skybound's Gamma Ray, which is their video subsidiary, I've done video essays about Deadpool and Batman and a bunch of other stuff. I've actually done sales for them, like we did like a bunch of comic sponsor sales, like it was like a QVC thing for comic books. I work with Skybound a fair amount, and now I'm working with them again through the Schmoedown, and I know Kirkman, Robert Kirkman a little bit. And I saw him at the screening last night. He tweeted about it. We talked about schemes. But yeah, Kirkman is fantastic, man. So if you guys want to support an independent comic house, Skybound are fantastic people, whether you're a schmo or not. And if you want to support anyone over at Image, they're all, from my experience, very good people. Image really grew in 20 years into another powerhouse. Like, they started as a powerhouse and they just kept growing, and I love everyone over there. So much love to them over there. Okay, I love the idea that I'm a Skybound shill. That's real funny. Jeremy Miller, I'm one of the most likable people on the planet. Stop. Oh. Let's see. Grayson Bell says, with the super chat, Koi Pond is the best possible name I've ever heard. The Koi Pond. That's right. Also, if you guys remember, hashtags are super helpful for organic growth. This is all grassroots, right? So any gifts you guys want to make, especially when I have the new studio, if there's any gifts you have from like Collider Heroes or any gifts of me, make me feel pretty. If there's any old GIFs, I can use those to market this show. So any graphics you want to make, I will absolutely use. I know a lot of you have reached out to help. All of those reach outs mean the world to me, and I will be getting to them as soon as I have the new studio. I signed the lease. I am moving to a place. It has a wall that will be the backdrop for all of this. Progress has been made, so I appreciate your patience, and I'm very excited for that to all happen. Okay, I'm almost caught up. In the words of John Roque, I'm the most positive person in the world. Yeah, I try to be the happiest, man. Okay. Hey, Coy, love the stuff you do. Maybe do a stream at a later time for us East Coast too. I'm going to try to do either a 2 or 5 o'clock stream on Tuesdays. That way it's either 8 or 5 East Coast. I definitely want to accommodate for my East Coasters. As a Boston kid, I do not want to disrespect y'all with a super late time. Today, I was moving all day and then went to the gym. It's leg day. But I couldn't miss leg day because then I'd feel like every other... Nope, not gonna be that guy. I had a bunch of like really bro-y insults to no one. I didn't go there. Yeah, so that is the thing. And yes, simply Emily, human exclamation point is my exact brand. I would like very much to be human exclamation point. That's how I want to be known. You guys, there is now 100 of you in here, which is a perfect way to end this. I am very excited. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna do a couple more. I like the questions. Let's do a couple more questions. Okay. Jeremy Miller asks, you're more of a Marvel guy, but have you been invited on DC Daily? I have not been over to DC Daily yet. They're great. I have much love for those DC Daily folks. And obviously Amy's over there, so go watch DC Daily. Full support. Let's see. Big fan from Puerto Rico. What are your predictions for Marvel Spider-Man 2 for PS5? I only hope it's also available for PS4 because I spent $400 buying Spider-Man on the PS4, and I really hope I can play Spider-Man 2 because I can't afford to get a PS5. My only prediction is selfish, and that it's also available on the PS4. I think it will feature Venom, and I think it will feature characters that are going to be incorporated into the future Marvel films, and I think I wouldn't be surprised if we see Kraven, and yeah, I think it's going to be a really cool time. Do you think a live-action Savage Dragon could work as a dark comedy? Absolutely. I do, and I think Eric Larson has some ideas that would be incredible if it ever comes to be. Invincible animated show. I am excited. Invincible's getting an animated and a live action. So I am excited to see those two play because I know it's a lot of the same people making both. It's very exciting. I can't wait for both. And again, Skybound, great place to support. And thank you for everyone in the live chat saying I'd be a perfect fit for DC Daily. Tell them. All right. I am going to wrap it up. Thank you, Garth, for all those things about Ace Comic-Con. I do want to jump over there. And you guys have been amazing. We did over an hour today, late night stream. We covered all sorts of stuff. We went through the Spider-Man release date. We did Oscars. We talked boss level. No spoilers whatsoever. Shazam, Black Adam, Doctor Strange 2. We talked Schmoedown. We talked Amazing Con. We did a Birds of Prey spoiler review. And then we did comics from January 15th and today, February 12th. That was a big show. You guys are absolutely incredible. I appreciate every single last one of you. I hope you know that. Keep being awesome. I'd like to thank you for watching. And as always, I would like to thank comic books for existing. Y'all are great.